is the subject of great debate. So let's go on that adventure. Hello and welcome to Capricious Conversations. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so very happy you're here. It hasn't been just me for a little while, so it's just gonna be you and me today. It's gonna be very personal. And we're going to talk about something that is kind of very close to my heart. A lot of you know that my undergraduate degree is in art history. So I've spent a lot of time with a lot of people and reading a lot of books and doing a lot of things, learning about art. And I really enjoy art. And so lately, I've been seeing a lot of things pop up in the debate about modern art. And I am here to tell you, as somebody who's spent a great deal of time thinking about this and studying this, a lot of modern art is rubbish. It's really bad. It's terrible. It's not art. Like, literally, there was a guy who took a pile of rubbish and put it on a table at a museum, and he almost got a custodian, he did get a custodian fired because the custodian cleaned it up thinking it was trash. And here's the thing, guys, it was not one of those cool piles of trash where you shine a light on it and it makes a picture against the wall in the shadow. No, it was not one. It was just a pile of trash. And I'm like, okay, it doesn't take skill and it doesn't take craftsmanship to put a pile of trash on a table. I saw a video just the other day of this guy who was talking about an exhibition in Spain where the artist literally put down tarps and put piles of dung on it. Again, it didn't take skill. And it didn't take craftsmanship. Farmers have been piling dung on tarps for years, and no one has ever called them an artist. And they've never called themselves an artist because they know that they're just cleaning up poo. But some dude decided that he was going to make some great statement and pile dung on tarps and call it art. It's not. I'm just going to be real about that. It's not art. And it's really arrogant to say, well, if you can't see that, then you just don't understand. No, dude, you just piled dung on tarps. However, there is something to be said for modern art that kind of pushes the boundaries. A lot of modern art really does try to be edgy, and they try to be super meaningful and make all these great, social commentaries. Are they really doing that? A lot of the time, no. They're just kind of being really high on themselves. But then there are other artists who are actually having something to say with their art. And let me take you back a little bit to the 1920s with Picasso, Mondrian, Modigliani, these people who were revolutionizing the art scene. Up until that point, hyper-realistic, Greek classical values were what was wanted in art. And Picasso and even Monet, with his gorgeous water lilies, they were thrown out of the academies and said, this is not art. And so they had to go and do it somewhere else. And a lot of what they were doing was really pushing the boundaries. Picasso, for instance, wanted to ask the question, what if you could see an object from all sides at the same time? And so he invented Cubism, and a lot of people still today have a really hard time understanding Picasso. But what he was trying to do was see what an object would look like if you could see all the sides at the same time. That's kind of revolutionary, and that really makes you think. Was he trying to make a social commentary? Not necessarily. He was exploring his world in a way that not a whole lot of other people had before. Monet was painting feelings rather than what he actually saw. So these guys were affecting change through their artwork. They had something to say. A dude who throws poop on a tarp? I'm guessing he doesn't really have a lot to say. Just saying. There's a distinction to be made, though, between modern art and postmodern art. And, modern art was the Modigliani and the even up to Pollock and Jasper Johns and those kinds of guys. That was modern art. The postmodern art is the things that have come after, like the dung on tarps. Here, though, is another point of kind of distinction, because there are some postmodern artists who throw poo on tarps, and there are other postmodern artists like Mark Rothko who actually use some skill in painting pictures. Mark Rothko is one of my favorite artists of all time, and I have taken a bunch of people to look at Mark Rothko paintings, and I've gotten some pretty mixed reaction, but the one I get most of the time is this. What? Because Mark Rothko is a color field painter, and color field is exactly what it sounds like. It's fields of color. And for a lot of people, they don't see that as art because they don't understand it. Here's the important thing about art, though. Education goes a long way to understanding, and I'm not saying that you need to go to art school, hear me. I'm just saying that it would be, you might need to do some research on the artists themselves and on their artwork. So educate yourself. It goes a long way to understanding, and understanding then goes a long way to appreciating. You don't have to like it, and you're probably not going to like a whole lot of art, and that's fine, because your tastes are your tastes, and you should absolutely like what you like. Don't take my word for it. Just go like what you like. But understanding it may help you appreciate it, even if you don't like it. So there's some modern art that is really worth appreciating. Some modern art is worth appreciating because of what it makes you do. It makes you think. It makes you talk. I remember when I was in a modern art class one time, we were talking about Kazimir Malevich's painting, which is, it's a white square painted on a white canvas. I have never heard such a vehement reaction to nothing, really. We literally spent an hour and a half going back and forth, and this side of the room hated it, and this side of the room loved it, and they were just going back and forth and like arguing so much. And at one point I raised my hand, and I kind of wasn't on either side, but at one point I raised my hand and I was like, guys, but do you realize that we just spent an hour and a half talking about a white square on a white canvas? He achieved exactly what he wanted to achieve. He wanted to get people talking. He wanted to get people talking about art. I don't care if you agree with me. And he didn't either, really. It was just about getting people to talk. And he achieved that. Did he do what he wanted? Did he do what he set out to do? Yes. Did it take some skill and work? Probably not a whole lot, but it did take some. And it took some planning. That kind of artwork I can really appreciate. It's the same kind of thing that Jackson Pollock was doing when he was painting. He was a classically trained artist, and he said, you know what, but I bet I can. And he did. And that kind of, it's in the ilk of a segment of modern art called phenomenology, where the artist really, all they're trying to do is get a response from you. Whatever response that is. They don't even often title the work because they just want to see what the artwork does to you, right? Everybody's going to have a reaction to it one way or another. And some have, more visceral reactions. Some people have more ostentatious reactions. But everybody's going to have some sort of reaction to it. Whether your reaction is meh, or whether your reaction is, this is the most amazing thing ever, or your reaction is, I can't believe he even put that on a painting, I hate this, you're going to react to it. And the phenomenologists, all they were trying to do is get reactions out of people. So they don't tell you what to think, they just give you art and make you think. Which I love. That's one segment of modern art that I really appreciate, and I really enjoy it. And I really enjoy taking people to see a phenomenology exhibit because I really want to see what people react, or how people react to it. That's super duper interesting to me, because it's kind of like people watching. If you ever go to like a really cool mall and you just sit there and watch people, and you can kind of like get clues about them and their personalities, and you can get even more by watching them react to art. It's really interesting. So I love phenomenology. And I had a friend tell me one time that it's art if it pleases you, which I can see. But by the same token, that's a really hard kind of definition to make, because what's pleasing to you may not be pleasing to me. I love color fields, and not a whole lot of people do. So is it still art? Well, yeah. Is it art even if it doesn't please you? Well, yeah. In my mind, kind of the definition of art is something that took thought, planning, and skill to execute. It doesn't even have to take much of those things, but it should have those things if you're going to call it art. Throwing poo on a tarp doesn't take skill. It might take some thought, but it doesn't take a whole lot of either of the other things. And it kind of, that artwork to me highlights the hubris of modern art. And what I mean by that is, I remember being in a critique one time in art class, and I threw up probably the worst drawing I've ever done. And the drawing was just because we had a project that had to be done. I hated it, didn't like the project, didn't like the picture. I don't even remember what it was of. I think it was, oh, I remember. It was a can opener. Because I had to draw an object and a 3D object, and I had to do it a bunch of different ways, and I really wasn't excited about it, but I drew a can opener. And I was sitting there, listening to people just pick out of my artwork hidden meanings and social commentary and the inner turmoil of the artist, you know, wanting to open things and just being a can opener, and you can't open a box with a can opener, and like literally it went on for 20 minutes, and I was just sitting there going like, what? I'm like, no, it's pretty much just a can opener. I didn't mean anything by it, but they could pull anything out of it that they wanted. And modern artists and modern art appreciateurs have that very same ability. We made a joke one time that you could go into the art museum and put a title card by the window, and people would stand there for hours going, oh yes, I really see what he's saying here. It's a window, guys. So I think there has to be that kind of thing where we realize some things don't mean anything. Some things are just a can opener. And we don't have to delve into everything. Sometimes art is going to make you want to delve into it. It's going to make you be curious. It's going to make you follow those things. But sometimes it's just a can opener. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think about modern art and what you think about the debate. If you think I've got it wrong, please let me know. I want to hear it. Let's get a conversation going, guys. This is a debate, and let's talk about it. I really want to talk about it. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and thank you for sharing this video with all your friends. Let's go on an adventure.